I got voted in to do it. And I'm going to try my hardest to get through this without tears, so bear with me. But he wrote a little something that he wanted to say to my mom. Who are you?
Okay.
My mom, my dad, and all of our family and friends. So here we go. 71 years ago, in the first grade at Morgan School in Clarksville, West Virginia, I met my friend Ed Wilfong. We went to grade school, junior high, and Washington Irving High School together, and then we're roommates at the West, by God, Virginia University. Needless to say, we really got to know each other, and I realize now what a blessing it was. I came to Fort Bridges the summer before last to play in the senior member guest tournament with Ed. I met many of you, and I think I got some strange looks from you when I called him Wilbur rather than Ed, which I now will explain. Again, Rusty's writing this. Ed was on our high school basketball team. He was the nicest, funniest, and most popular guy on the team. The only problem was that he didn't get any playing time. Our team would come out for layups, warm-ups, more warm-ups, and that was about it for Ed. We soon dubbed him Wilbur Warmup. Now, you all know why I called my friend Ed Wilbur. Amazingly, when we went back for reunions 50 years later, everybody still called him Wilbur. Everyone had a nickname. I guess it's a West Virginia thing. Our friends who are here with Dottie and me, again Rusty talking, are Pam and Jim Brown. Pam, Jim? They're back there. There they are. Jim was called either Jim or JB. Wilbur shortened it to just plain Brown. Pam was too short, so she became Pammy. My wife Dorothy went from Dorothy, Dottie, to Dots by way of Wilbur. Now Sharon's a different story. Here we go. Sharon's nickname became Bubbles. Not long after Ed became Wilbur. Sharon asked me a couple years ago, Rusty, how did I get the name Bubbles? I told her, I guess I did it, but I can't remember why. I think it may have been beer related, although I think it was more sexy than phony. Wilbur, Brown, and I fell in love with these three girls in high school, Bubbles, Dot, and Pammy. The six of us became inseparable. We were 6 peas in a pod. We didn't double date, we triple dated. Triple dating wasn't a problem until we went to the Ellis Drive-In, and then there were a few logistical problems. We went to ball games, ate pizza at Twin Oaks and Romano's, went to the lake, ate pepperoni rolls, which are fantastic, played canasta. Canasta was a card game with hundreds of cards and a big plastic tray to put them in. Our rule was that boyfriend and girlfriend couldn't be partners. Bubbles and I argued like brother and sister because we were partners. She would ask me if I could go all out, and I'd tell her no. And then I would go all out when it was my turn, and she got really pissed at me, but there was a beer joint in the neighborhood of Staley named the Canteen. Remember that too, yeah. Wilbur and I loved the place, and we were only about 15 or 16. They had a pinball machine, which Wilbur had an affinity for. It was a pinball machine that had a bunch of holes in it, and to win, you would try to get 3 or 4 or 5 numbers in a row. If you won games, you could cash in your winnings for cash at the bar. Wilbur figured out a system to beat them to win. He knew if the balls rolled slower towards the holes, it would be easier to manipulate them into the holes he wanted. He would wear a special pair of shoes on which he would sit the 2 front legs of the pinball machine on his toes, which would slow the balls down, and he could win all the time. The Canteen never figured it out. They just thought that Wilbur was good. I knew better, but enjoyed every minute of it. He was the original pinball wizard. We had a lot of friends there, and they started serving us beer at age 16. As a prayer, I know, God, that Wilbur is up there with you now. He's probably starting to tell you some of his corny jokes. Just laugh. It'll give him great pleasure. He's probably trying to set up a golf game by now, and no doubt he'll be asking for strokes. Please see that he gets them. Someday we'll all be, again, at a reunion with Wilbur. I know he'll be waiting patiently for us. He was a wonderful son, brother, husband, father, grandfather, friend, and roommate. Thank you for sharing him with all of us.